Hello and welcome to Healing Yoga. We'll get started in just a minute or two, get a chance for everybody to check in. If you have a strap or a belt, a rope tie, a long scarf, something like that, that might be helpful as we practice today. If not, that's okay. We always can adapt and there are no worries there. But if you want to grab one and have it handy, you can. You have a minute to do that, so that's fine. I'm glad to have you here today, and I know that in our classes offer both seated and standing variations for what we do, and I'm just curious how many of you, I'm just curious who might like to practice seated or standing. If you feel like sharing that in the comments or as a comment on here, that would be great. It's just, our bodies are doing different things going on different days. So it's always nice to have options. And so anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. So it's good to be here. And we will go ahead and get started. I'm Janis, in case I always forget to introduce myself. So anyway, here we go. Well, it has been quite the week here in Iowa. And so today's practice, we will be really mindful of being grounded and finding some calm amidst the chaos and disruption and distraction. And so let's go ahead and get started. So find a comfortable seat, whether you're on your mat or on your chair. Maybe notice where your sit bones are and make sure your sit bones are rooted into the surface that you're sitting on. Just think about really elongating that spine, reaching that crown to the sky. Just resting your palms on your lap. You can have your palms up to receive or down to ground, depending on what you're feeling today. And I invite you to close your eyes as we always begin with a few minutes of centering. And just feel that elongation in your spine. And just breathing naturally. Just notice your breath. Maybe place your hand on your heart. See if you can feel your heartbeat. And you can rest your hand back down on your lap. Take a scan of your body, beginning with your toes. Just notice what you're feeling in the lower part of your body, your feet, your calves, your thighs, your torso, arms, wrists, shoulders, maybe some of us have been doing a little extra work with our body than is typical. Your neck, and just take a moment now, any areas of discomfort in the body. A nice long inhale. Imagine sending the breath to that part of the body. And on an exhale, releasing that discomfort. Sometimes it's nice to exhale through the mouth during this time, just to release any extra energy or tension or discomfort. Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. So I invite you to softly open the eyes. And I want to share with you today a mudra called Jala, the Jala Mudra. It's Jala means water. And all you do is connect your thumb, the tip of your thumb to the tip of your little finger, just like that. And then you can rest your hands down in your lap. The Jala Mudra is wonderful for fluidity and flexibility of mind and body. We've definitely had to be flexible this week. It cultivates the ability to flow with the seasons of life and the cycles of life. So go with the flow, if you will. And during times of disruption and unexpected change and events that affect us in different ways, it's a wonderful practice to learn to find your center amidst all of that. And this is simply a mudra that you might want to hold and rest in your lap at times and visit your breath. Going with the flow. So what do you need for your breath today? If you're feeling that you're needing just more balance, then have your inhale and your exhale be even. So maybe inhale slowly to the count of 4. And exhale slowly to the count of 4 again. Pausing a little bit between each inhale and exhale. If you feel like you're needing more energy, take a long inhale to the count of 6. And just exhale to the count of 4. Or if you're needing a bit more of a calming breath, then inhale to the count of 4 and a slow exhale to the count of 6. Which one of those serve you today? So as you hold Jala Mudra, let's just take a few breaths, either even breaths, energizing breaths with a longer inhale, or calming breaths with a longer exhale. The breath practice is important. It really helps your lungs to be stronger and more expansive. It's just good for you in so many ways. Right, you can release that mudra now and just rest your hands on your lap. And if you're sitting on your mat, I'd like you to, mat, or on your chair, let's check our posture. So sit bones rooted into the earth. Maybe if you're on your mat, maybe you're sitting cross-legged, or your legs are extended, whatever is comfortable. But as you press into the sit bones, feel your spine elongate. If you tip the chin forward just a little bit to raise that crown to the sky. And if you're in your chair, check that you have 90-degree angle at the hip, at the knee, and at the ankle. So this is Tadasana, or seated mountain posture, if you are in the chair. It's a great place to be. So let's go ahead and extend both of our legs out, keeping a slight bend in the knee. And notice our hands. Let's just bring our fingers and our toes, curl them in, and release. Nice and slow. Inhale, curl in. Exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. These are really important joints. It's good to take time to warm them up. And then we'll just go ahead and rotate our ankles and our wrists. It doesn't matter which way they are going. Just rotating nice and slowly. And then pause and go in the opposite direction. It's kind of a little bit of brain work to do that too. Okay. And then we'll just kind of shake those fingers out and bring our heels back to the earth. And on an inhale, let's come up on our toes. If you're on your mat, you might be sitting back like this for this part. And exhale, heels to the earth. And then inhale, lift the front of the foot off the floor. And exhale. So just moving slowly with the breath, really pausing to feel that stretch across the top of the foot. And the stretch that you feel when you lift the foot off the floor. Just do one or two more of those. All right, lovely. And then we'll just warm up the knee joint. If you have a strap, you can support your leg by bringing the strap underneath. I'll show you 3 different ways you can do this knee warm up. You can just keep your foot on the floor, bring it back, bend it back as far, and extend. Nice and slow. We're simply warming up the knee joint. Okay? Maybe you just lift it off the floor. Do this. If you use the strap, you can bring it up, hold your elbows in tight to your sides, and support it that way. Sometimes this is a nice way to do it to help you maintain a long spine. Now we'll go to the other side. You can decide which way you want to warm up your knee joint today. It's really good to keep those knee joints moving and fluid. And then lower that foot down. If you have the strap, you can set that aside. We'll just do a little bit of chair walking, him to the front, and then walk toward the back of the chair. You can do this on your mat too. It's a good way to scooch across the floor if you're on the floor and need to move to a different area. This is a great practice. It's good for your hips. And then we'll come back towards the front of our chair and find our seated mountain. So let's go ahead and bring your hands to heart. And as we shift our arms one direction, we'll look in the opposite direction. And we'll take a breath here. And come back to center. And we'll go to the other side. Inhaling. Maybe you take another breath here. Back to center. And we'll just do this nice and slowly. Inhale, going in one direction. Exhale to center. Inhale, the opposite direction. Exhale to center. We'll do one more time on each side. Beautiful. Now inhale, bring our arms up just about shoulder height with our fingers pointing down, and then we'll point our fingers to the sky as we lower our arms. So we're gonna fly, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. A lot of good stuff happening with these movements. Maybe you feel that. Now let's go ahead and bring our hands to our lap and just bring one hand up like so. And just do a little bit of a side bend. Find where you feel a good side bend with a long spine and then just reach a little more. And then bring that hand down and relax. We'll do the other one. So we kind of sneak up like this. It can be a little easier on the shoulder to do it that way than this way. So just a little gentler. We're healing, right? In the other direction. Just breathe here. And where you feel like you're at a good place, you don't need to move the torso, just simply reach that arm a bit more. And bring the arm down to the sides. Great. Now let's just kind of shake that out a little and you just do a little swinging of the arms. Not really turning the torso a lot, but maybe just a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy. You kind of move the legs around and get everything kind of shook out. All right? Great. All right, so bring the heels of your hands into your hip creases. And as you press into your thigh, relax the shoulders down and lift your heart. Not throwing the neck back. Neck stays in line with the spine. Then come back to center. Now we'll take the hands out towards the knees and just lean back. If you have any sort of spine issues, just leaning back is the safer variation for that. Then as we inhale, we'll bring our hands back to our hip creases, lift the spine, and exhale. Keep moving through a few of these cat-cows at your pace with your breath. And if one feels particularly good this morning, afternoon, just hold it there for a minute. This feels really good in my upper back, so I'm just going to stay put for a moment before moving on. Do one more and then come back to center to seated Tadasana. All right, next we'll do some simple shoulder rolls slowly. And you can kind of play around with it. What's it like to make small circles? What's it feel like when you make the circles larger? For that range of motion. Then we'll pause and come back forward. It always feels so weird. And then relax. Now let's just bring our shoulders all the way up to our ears as high as we possibly can. Really pressing it towards our ears. And then relax them down and imagine someone pressing on your shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Shrug up, nice and tight, where your shoulders are supporting your neck. And then releasing, not just relax down, but imagine someone pressing down. And then back to center. All right, so next let's take one ear towards the same shoulder, nice and slow. keeping nice roll. So we want to avoid this. We're not doing this. We want the shoulders do not get to participate. So you're just reaching the ear toward the shoulder. Notice where you're feeling this. Not forcing it, but you probably are feeling it. Come back to center. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Reach the other ear. It might feel very different on the opposite side. It definitely does for me. Then we'll come back to center. We'll return to the first side again. But this time, turn and look down toward your shoulder. And maybe even place that hand on the back of the head, gently stretching that muscle. You should be feeling it in a different place. And then gently bring the gaze back forward and come back up to center. We'll do that on the other side. So reaching the opposite ear toward its shoulder. And then just turning and looking down toward the shoulder. You can just be right here. There's no need to add additional stretch, but you can gently, carefully, if that feels good to you. Gaze forward and head up. Let's do one more. Got a lot of tension to release, so we'll take here, we'll look down, and we'll draw a smile across our collarbone. Out. Come up. We'll come the other direction now. Taking a look down. Draw that smile the other way across the collarbone. Gaze outward and out. Ooh, let's just take our, interlace our hands out here. And just reach out. Feel that across the top of the upper back. Maybe bring them up here. And reaching out. Maybe you flip the palms and press outward. Maybe bring them above the head. With the palms pressing upward. And then relax. Bring the arms down to sides. Let's inhale, arms to sky. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little moving mountain. So if you're seated on your mat, I invite you to come to standing. You can practice in your chair. So as we breathe, we'll come up on our toes and bring our arms to the sky. And exhale, we lower. Breathing in and out. And just moving through that very slowly. Keep doing that. So if you're standing, you could use the chair for support. And you could have one hand on the chair to help your balance. Now we'll alternate arms. So this time, come up on your tiptoes, just raise one arm. And then raise the other arm. Asymmetrical movements are awesome for our brain. We got to keep that brain going too. Go ahead, do one more. And come back to mountain. All right, so Chakravakasana or sunbird. So we'll extend one leg. If you're seated, you'll extend the leg out in front of you with the heel resting on the floor. If you're standing, you'll extend the leg behind you with the toes resting on your floor. But notice that I haven't stepped back really all that far. Okay? So, and from there, we then lift the opposite arm. So whenever leg is extended, you raise the opposite arm. And then really rooting down into that supporting leg, the one where the foot is fully on the floor. See what it might be like to raise the extended leg off the mat. Not a lot. You can just raise it like an inch or less. Just enough to get that sensation of balance. And then bring the foot to the floor. Relax the arm down and bring that extended leg back to mountain. Sunbird. Let's try the other side. So I'll extend the opposite leg and raise the arm that is opposite to the leg you have extended. Relax that shoulder down, like this. Just keep that shoulder nice and relaxed. Just the arm is up. Okay. So press into that supporting leg. Even seated, I'm pressing into the earth and this leg is engaged. Engaging the core, drawing in that waistband, and see what it's like to lift that extended leg off the floor just an inch. You can hold it there, or you can practice lifting and lowering it, whatever you feel like doing. It's your practice. We get the sensation of balance, and that's what balance is. It's not an accomplishment. And then lower the foot, relax the arm down, and bring your foot back to center, back to Tadasana. So for Warrior 1, today Virabhadrasana 1, if you'd like to practice that in the chair, I'd like to share with you an option. And by turning sideways in the chair, you might have to scoot forward a little. You have the chance to put your arm closest to the back of the chair on there for support. And then you can step your this leg back. Okay. Now you can do it like this, or you can step back like this. So it's almost more like a lunge in a way. But this front leg is bent at a 90-degree angle, back leg is extended. And then you can have one arm on the chair and raise the other one, or you can bring both arms up. If you have shoulder issues, bring your hands to heart. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Building strength, building focus, building stability. When you're ready, bring hands down. You might want to kind of come gently, bring that leg gently back, and come back to the front, back to mountain. Ooh, notice the difference. And now we'll come to the other side. Of course, if you're standing, you can simply step back. And if you're standing, that foot is flat on the floor, the back foot, both feet actually, if you're standing. If you're seated, we'll just facing the opposite direction. Front leg bent, back leg extended. In the chair, the knee may be bent. Heel can come off the floor, that's fine. And then decide where is best for your arms today. Shoulder issues, keep them right here. Otherwise, you can raise them and extend them. And breathe. When you're ready, bring the hands down. Straighten that front leg and just gently bring your feet and your legs back to center. If you're standing, try heel toeing. It's a really great exercise for your feet. And then we'll come back to center. We'll move into our Warrior 2 practice. So for Warrior 2, you'll have your front leg bent, and the back leg is extended. Now, if you're in the chair, sometimes our hips aren't always wanting to, you have to be mindful of our hips, some of us. So if that's the case, you could, instead of extending the back leg, you can keep it right here. Or you could just bring it here. If it works for you, you could bring it back further. But the thing of it is, you want to keep your foot flat on the floor. So it's not about leg, it's about this opening, front leg being solid, secure, and grounding in, back leg here. Now, hips facing front, arms out to sides. Taking a gaze out over that front leg. Notice your shoulders, are they scrunched? Let them relax. Just let your fingers relax. And gaze out over that front leg. Let's take an inhale. And on an exhale, let's bring our forearm to our thigh. And you can bring your other arm over your ear, or you can have your hand to your hip. Side angle. Parsvakonasana. And inhale, and then exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, and on an exhale, we'll reach back for reverse warrior. You can actually press your hand into the chair for support if you would like, or you can have it hang here. This arm is fine up here. If that bothers you, you can rest your fingertips here. Also, if this doesn't work for your neck, you can look at the floor. You can look over here. Look wherever it feels best for your neck. And we'll come back to warrior two. And relax. All right, we'll do that a couple of more times without pausing. Just some slow, gentle movement. You can do with me, or you can go at your own pace. So inhale. Exhale, side angle. Long, slow inhales and exhales. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. And keep floating through these movements. Your own pace. With your breath. In a way that feels best in your body. Let's do one more. Focus. Let's go to the other side. So warrior two. Decide where you want to find your foundation. You're standing, you step back from mountain. Hips facing the long edge of your mat. Arms extended. Looking out over that front arm. And coming into side angle. Back to warrior two. Reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. And then we'll just flow through those three slowly and with the breath. Here we are in warrior two. Inhale. Exhale to side angle. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. One more. Remember to go at your own pace with your breath, moving in a way that feels good in your body. Being very gentle, never forcing, and relax your hands down. And heel toe those feet, come back to Tadasana, or mountain posture. Just take a moment in our mountain to breathe, lengthen our spine. And I would invite you, as you stand in mountain or sit in mountain, to see what it feels like if you tip your chin down about an inch. See if you notice any difference in the back of your neck. You may notice that you get a bit more length by doing that. And yet your crown is still to the sky. Okay. All right, so we're going to move into just a nice seated pigeon. So I would invite you to use a chair for this. We're going to be gentle. You can bring your ankles to cross and let this hip fall open in a gentle way before we lean forward. Or you can help your ankle up onto the top of your leg. And then from here, we're just going to, keeping a nice long spine like the lid to a box, we're just going to hinge forward very slowly. Really cueing in to what you're feeling on your back body, on your side body. Find a place where you're feeling a good stretch but no strain. Take a couple of breaths there. And then we'll come back up to seated. Lower that leg down and we'll go ahead and go to the other side. Decide which one. This side might be different. So see how this feels. See how this feels. Pick the one you like best. And then keeping the long spine, just hinging forward. And then come back up, seated. Popping that leg down. You practice Gomukhasana. This is just a wonderful practice and posture. It just helps with so many areas. So I would invite you to, I'll show you, I'm going to turn around and I'll show you what it looks like from the back side. This is a place where if you have your strap, this is where you're going to want it. If you don't, it's okay. You will use your imaginary strap. So to practice this, we start by bringing one hand all the way up, straight up. And you reach back there and feel that the strap is going along the length of your spine. Then you will work your hands toward each other. Keeping this top arm, keeping the top arm from like doing this or trying to reach back, but keeping it in alignment. Find the place where you're really feeling, wow, that feels good. It should feel really good. No pain in yoga. And then, whichever arm is on top, cross the opposite leg. Or if that's not comfortable, just cross that ankle over the opposite ankle and squeeze your legs together. Everything's coming in, being mindful of our beautiful long, straight spine, and breathing. And then relax the hands, bring them down to the side, and we'll go to the other side. Whoa, good. Okay, so the opposite arm will take the strap up high, and you'll reach back, come out, and reach back for the strap here. And then you'll just gradually, I have to always watch because I want to bring my elbow this way. I mean, try to keep it over here. Keep it over there by my ear. Bring hands close to each other. Now, it'll be different on each side. Probably. It's okay. It is. You just want to find the place where you're feeling a really lovely stretch. And then just be there and take some breaths. And now this time, we'll cross the opposite ankle over, or the leg. I'm going to try to, if I lean forward a little, it makes it a little easier to cross my legs. I'm not going to force it right now. This is just fine right where it's at. Take a few breaths. And then just gently walk your hands back, away, relax them down. And our last posture today will be Vrikshasana, or tree posture. Many options here. Do you practice tree? How do you like to practice tree? You've probably practiced tree before, and so you can choose the variation that you like the best. If you haven't practiced tree before, let me share with you some variations for the foundation or the trunk. The arms come later, but the very important part is the foundation. So you want to find a focal point, or a drishti. You're going to root down into the supporting leg. Okay. Now the other leg, you're just going to let that hip fall open very gently. And this might be where you stay. Okay. Another option might be to bring it to the side and maybe press your heel up to the leg of the chair. Pressing, this leg is still engaged. Another option can be to rest that ankle on the supporting leg. So those are options for sitting. If you're standing, you have a chair for support, which is really nice. So you root down into your supporting leg. It's the closest to the chair. Bring that hip open to the side. And you can just have one hand on the chair, the other one at your side. And just keep your toes on the floor, but press your heel on the inside of your ankle. And then maybe see what it's like to release. Your hands can be at heart. They can be outstretched, or they can be like a pine tree. You can see what it might be like to lift the foot off the floor and press the inside of your shin or your calf there. And you can keep one hand on the chair for support. I guarantee you, you're experiencing balance. Rooting down here, engage that core. So let's all relax our arms, lower our foot to the ground. Bring that knee forward. Gonna shake our legs out, and we'll go to the other side. Okay. Rooting down into the opposite leg now, your supporting leg. Okay. Opening that hip just a little bit, or more, depends on you and what feels good in your body. And press down in there. Extend that. Find where you want that to be for your tree, and then decide where you want your arms to be. In honor of all the trees, they've had a rough week here. We honor the trees. They bring us life, oxygen, breath, clean our air, and they're so beautiful. When you're ready, relax your arms, bring that hip back forward, and revisit your mountain posture. So for Shavasana, maybe you're going to lay out on your mat. Maybe you're going to lay on your couch. Or maybe you're simply going to sit back in your chair. Now I forgot to bring my blanket to use as a little neck support. So I might see what it's like just to put my strap here. I can sit back, extend my legs, relax my shoulders, and just kind of hold on to this. I'm really not gripping it, and it helps support the neck a little bit. The blanket was nicer though. Whatever way you choose to practice Shavasana, find a very comfortable place where you can extend and expand the body. Let it absorb all the work that you did today, all of the practice, all of the movement, all of the breath. It's a time to rest. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes as we gently and slowly bring movement back to the body. Go ahead and roll to one side, or maybe scooch to a more secure place on your chair. And pressing up into a seated position, finding your Tadasana. Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. Go ahead and open your eyes. We'll inhale, hands to sky. Exhale toward the earth. Breathing in all of the beauty. Exhaling what no longer serves. Inhale. And as we exhale, let's bring our palms together and slowly let our fingertips brush our forehead, our nose, our lips, as we bring our hands to our heart. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be filled with peace. Thank you for practicing here today.